Hello and welcome to Real Talk with Kingsley Ogudere. Today, I have a special show for you, and it's really something dear to my heart. So I'm just going to get right to it. The mismanagement of Nigeria's Basketball Federation. It's a national disgrace. As the echoes of the Paris 2024 Olympics begin to fade, Nigeria's athletic delegation returns home once again without a single medal to their name. While many of the country's most talented athletes who changed their nationality in search of better opportunities, they secured gold, silver, and bronze medals for other nations. Nigeria's sports sector is in disarray and it needs reform. However, today my focus is on Nigerian Basketball Federation, NBBF, and the president, Musa Kida. I truly believe has damaged Nigerian basketball. This is not a personal attack, but for the last 7 years, basically under his whole administration, there has been no basketball league. No basketball league. This is a federation in shambles. Nigeria is home to some of the most naturally talented basketball players in the world, many who have gone to achieve greatness on the international stage. Despite this, the NBBF remains mired in chaos and controversy. Year after year, the Federation claims a lack of sponsors as an excuse for its failures in organizing and supporting the sport. Yet, there's a glaring conflict of interest. NBBF proudly dons Alpha branded gear, AFA, Alpha, the very brand associated with the president of the federation itself. How is it that a federation unable to secure sponsorship deals from global powerhouses like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, which would eagerly partner with a nation teeming with basketball talent like Nigeria, but yet it manages to promote its own brand? The answer is not just mismanagement. It's complete dereliction of duty to the players and the nation. The absence of a local league. This is a betrayal to the young talent. For the past 7 years, there's been no basketball league in Nigeria. Let me repeat that, please. For the past 7 years, there's been no basketball league in Nigeria. In Nigeria, this absence is more than just a missed opportunity. It's a betrayal of the dreams of thousands of young athletes who aspire to rise through the ranks and one day represent their country. Without a league, there is no platform for these young players to develop their skills, showcase their talent, and catch the eye of scouts who could potentially propel them to the greater heights. Instead, their ambitions are stifled by a system that offers them nothing but broken promises. This is not mere an issue of funding. It's a question of leadership. The NBBF, under the presidency of Musa Kida, has failed to provide the necessary infrastructure and opportunities for the sports to thrive. Facilities are lacking. Equipment is outdated or non-existent. And the dreams of young players are systematically destroyed. But why? Why? because the federation and those who govern it seems to be more interested in maintaining power than fostering the development of the sport. The silence of the board, the silence of the board is shameful. Shameful. They stay quiet. Everyone is afraid to make a ruckus, to upset the emperor. So therefore, there's misuse of funds. It goes unchecked. One of the most troubling aspects of this situation is the apparent silence and inaction of the NBBF Board of Directors. Despite the evident failures of the Federation, the board remains unwilling or unable to hold Musa Kida accountable. This reluctancy to demand transparency and accountability is a significant part of why Nigerian basketball is in the current state of disarray. Let's not forget the glaring issue of finances. Coach Mike Brown, the former head coach of Nigeria's national basketball team, and the current head coach of the Sacramento Kings, raised over $1 million for Nigerian Basketball Federation. Mike Brown did this without taking a salary. Driven by the passion for the sport and for his desire to see Nigeria's basketball program thrive. Yet this substantial sum remains unaccounted for. Who controls the finances of the NBBF? You guessed it, Musa Kida. The lack of financial transparency is a slap in the face to the players, coaches, and fans who invest their time, energy, and hopes in Nigerian basketball. How can we expect kids to train and improve their game when they don't even have a league in which to compete? How can we expect to cultivate the game for the next generation? We have a future basketball stars. How can we cultivate the game for them when the very federation tasked with development is mired in corruption and incompetence? How can we continue to allow this to happen? I've yelled, I've screamed, I've pleaded. How can we continue to allow bad leadership? People are too afraid to say something. Why? So you can have the pleasure of saying, I'm on the board? I'm on the board of what? The Titanic? Let's be real. The whole world watched South Sudan. South Sudan challenged the mighty USA team. South Sudan has been dominating African basketball for the last few years. South Sudan. And please, it's no disrespect when I say it that way, South Sudan people, but it is a very small country. They just started basketball. The country is in turmoil. But because they have great leadership in Luau Dang. If you've missed it, please take this opportunity to hit the like button, subscribe, and check out the video on Luau Dang. Oh my goodness. This brother cares for his country. He invests in his country. and their success. It's time for change, but we must be vigilant. It's time for change. The time for change is long overdue. NBBF must be reformed from the ground up, starting with the removal of those who have consistently failed to deliver on their promises. Nigeria needs leaders who are passionate about the sport. The time for change is long overdue. NBBF must be reformed from the ground up, starting with the removal of those who have consistently failed to deliver on their promises. Nigeria needs leaders who are passionate about the sport, transparent with finances, and committed to developing the game at all levels, from grassroots to the national team. But under no circumstances must we allow the same leaders or their associates to change the Constitution to extend their grip on power. This tactic has been used by corrupt regimes in other sectors, and we cannot allow it to infect Nigerian basketball again. The current leaders have had their chance and have failed. It's time for new leadership, fresh ideas, a renewed commitment to sport. We must elect a new board of directors composed of individuals who have a genuine love of the game, a vision for its growth. This should be people who are not entrenched in the same old ways of doing things and who won't prioritize personal gain over the welfare of our athletes. We must avoid falling victim to former players with bad intentions who seek to fatten their pockets by aligning themselves with the national team, just like the current bad leaders. The future of Nigerian basketball depends on it. We must be very vigilant. There are many people that will do camps, do things only when it's time for election, only when the time suits them. But we must not let those people bring the same bad leadership back in the folds. The future is now. The future is now. Our young players deserve more than empty words and broken promises. They deserve a federation that works tirelessly to create opportunities, build infrastructure, and secure sponsorships that will elevate Nigerian basketball to its rightful place on the global stage. Until then, the potential of Nigerian basketball talent will remain just that, potential, unfulfilled, unrealized. It's time for NBBF to get its act together, or for new leadership to take the reins. Nigeria's basketball future depends on it. It depends on it. We must not sit idle till it's too late. You, me, the people, we must raise our voices now. For 7 years, we've watched the destruction of Nigerian basketball. I received countless reports. If I reported all the negatives, it would be full of the airwaves. But please, I'm begging you, I'm imploring you. I love Nigerian basketball. I really do. I have a passion for it. When I played for the national team, I played with the same passion. Some people make fun of us for the sacrifices that we made. But it is shameful. 20, 30 years later, we're still mirrored in the same nonsense. When will it stop? When will we say enough is enough? We care about the game. We claim to care about the game. These leaders, you've done nothing to develop grassroots basketball. It's very easy to take a finished product in the national team. People that have already arrived and present them as Nigerian basketball. But what about the young people coming behind them? What about the 14 to 15-year-old with aspirations and dreams of playing college basketball, of playing on the national team, of representing Nigeria? What about those young people? What about their dreams? Please, let's make a change. I employ every Nigerian youth, every person that claims to care about the game. We need the change, or the game will not survive. This is one man, one voice. But we need a change. It's self-evident. Our men did not even make it to the Olympics. And we're supposed to be one of the powerhouses. A whole country without an arena. The works are in the plans are in the works now for an arena. Nigeria should be ashamed of itself. The mismanagement, the misuse of funds by those that are tasked to help grow the game. My personal conversation with Mike Brown was the last straw. Because anytime anyone raises a voice, you are attacked by stomach infrastructures. That's people that are benefiting from either the chaos, the destruction, that are being paid to spread lies. They will accuse you of taking money, accuse you of doing this, because they are stealing. They are corrupting the game. Mike Brown raised over $1 million, in which he turned over to the Federation. His salary, he did not take. I had many conversations about this with some officials, some that confirmed, yes, the money was raised. But it seems that Musa Kida, once again, is in charge of the finances. What happened to that $1 million? Why is it that we continue to be underfunded when we have jerseys with sponsor on it? What is the sponsor doing for Nigerian basketball? Is it Mayor providing kits to us? What is the responsibility of the sponsor? What is the responsibility of the board? From the news that I've received, the board, the Nigerian Basketball Federation board, does not have meetings. They are unaware of any transactions that is taking place. How is that possible? These are the questions needs to be answered. Well, if there's no one to account for the money, it doesn't matter how much you raise. You can always scream, we have no funding, we have no funding. This is Nigerian basketball. Let's get our act together. This is Real Talk with Kingsley Obudere. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you real talk. For your